These are three tiny, tiny habits that I know are so effective, but let's talk about why they're so effective. Number one, they're tiny. It's in the name. They take literally less than 5 minutes. You do not need a ton of time or really a ton of effort to create big, big impact in your life.
This is Bold Intentional Life, the podcast for moms who are ready to stop sleepwalking through life. Hi, I'm your host, Jessie Larson, and I know how easy it is to get caught up in the daily grind, running on autopilot, feeling overwhelmed, and wondering if this is all there is. But here, we're about taking back control, realigning with what matters most, and making every moment count. You deserve more than just going through the motions. It's time to step into a life of purpose, balance, and fulfillment, one small, impactful change at a time. Each week, we'll dive into real talk, practical tips, and empowering conversations to help you shift from just getting by to fully showing up for yourself, your family, and your dreams. No more waiting. Your bold, intentional life starts now. Hey, and welcome back to Bold Intentional Life. Today, we are diving into something that has completely changed how my home runs and honestly, how I'm feeling day to day. We are going to be talking about tiny habits, those small, almost unnoticeable actions that, when done consistently, make a huge difference in your life. I know life is busy. I know the mental load of keeping everything running can feel like too much. But what if I told you that three tiny, tiny daily habits, ones that take less than 5 minutes each, so a total of 15 minutes a day, could bring you more peace, reduce your overwhelm, and help your home run smoother without you having to think about it all the time? That is what we're going to be diving into today. Three tiny house habits that make a big impact. But before we get into the specific habits, let's talk about why this even matters. So often, whenever we think about creating change, we tend to go big. We tend to think big. We tell ourselves that we need a big, massive overhaul, right? I need to order a dumpster to declutter the entire house and have it here. I need to call the carpet cleaning company and move all my furniture out and get everything completely revamped. Or I need to tear out my carpet completely and start from scratch, right? We don't have to do huge, huge things. There is a time and a place for those for sure. But we don't need to deep clean the whole house. We don't need to completely revamp our routines. We don't need to become an entirely new person overnight. We can't sustain that. When we try to do that, when we try to go too big, we can't sustain it. And then we think we have failed. But the truth is, tiny habits, tiny, consistent actions that we take are the key to long-term success. And it's really funny because I resisted this for years. For years and years and years, I am a free spirit. I am a don't tell me what to do. I want to go with the flow. Let me flow. I don't want to follow a routine. I don't want to follow a rhythm. And I married a man who loves himself a good routine. And even though I was like, that's great, that works for you, hun. And over the last 17 years, I have seen the light. I have come over to his side. And I know that these tiny, consistent habits make a big, big difference. And the biggest thing I have learned is they do help you flow more. They help me to be more of a free spirit and to not be so overwhelmed and not be loaded down with all of the chaos and all the things that I'm trying to manage. And they also don't require a ton of effort. But what they do is they create a ton of momentum. And that momentum that they create leads to big, big shifts over time. So today, I am not asking you to change your entire life. I'm just inviting you to try these three tiny habits or just even listen and then implement three tiny habits of your own that you need. Okay. These are three that I have implemented in my life that have had a massive, massive impact in my home, in my life, and honestly, in my peace and in my happiness. So, what the heck are they? What are these three tiny habits that I do? Number one, if you have listened to this podcast at all,
you know what number one is going to be. Number one is that I make my bed every morning. In fact, I'll pan over. There she is. If you are on YouTube, you can see everything here and just hang out with me in my fun, cute, smiley, happy face. Okay, so habit number one is making my bed every morning. The habit, pulling up the covers, fluffing the pillows, making it look put together. And honestly, this takes maybe 1 to 2 minutes. I have timed myself in the past just to see how quick I could get it done. Here's the effect. It instantly makes my bedroom feel more calm and more put together. And then what usually happens is I will make the bed and then kind of look around, notice that my nightstand needs to be tidied up a little bit. Maybe there's some socks on the floor, a drawer that has something sticking out that I need to just tidy up and close. Maybe I will come over and then open up the windows, let the sunlight in, and then suddenly my room just feels like this sanctuary instead of a dumping ground for laundry and clutter and other things. Now, why this works so well as a tiny habit is the habit is not, I need to make sure my room is clean every day. That's a lot. It's also pretty vague. What does that even mean? Right? But the habit that I've committed to is making my bed. That is it. And because I do that, the rest naturally follows. Some days it follows a little bit more, right? I do more. I might grab the vacuum and do some extra things, or it's just a quick tidy up. But because of that one habit, my room gets to be a peaceful, inviting space that I enjoy being in instead of something where I want to just shut the door and ignore it and then just hurry up and climb back into bed at the end of the night. It's been a life-changing habit for me. Okay, let's jump into number two, which is throwing in a load of laundry every single night. This one I always get some reactions for, okay? The habit, every night before bed, I throw a load of laundry into the washer, toss in a detergent pod, and schedule it. Delay start. Schedule it to start in the morning. The effect is that by the time I wake up and come downstairs to get everything going for the day, get breakfast, get the kids off to school, my laundry is already washed. It's like future me is getting a head start. And all I have to do now is switch it over to the dryer in the morning. I'm already ahead of the game. Half of the work was already done for me. It has been a game changer. Why this works so well. Number one, the laundry never piles up. It never gets into an overwhelming, out of control situation. It keeps my mornings from feeling chaotic because I'm not scrambling to wash something last minute. It keeps sports nights from feeling chaotic because no one is screaming, "Where's my jersey? Where's this? I can't find it." And I know that this works so well because the times that I don't do this habit, it all goes to hell, right? I have those overwhelming mornings where someone can't find their uniform top, someone can't find their jacket that they need. And this habit of just throwing it in at night, right? It's not, I do laundry every day, I do blah, blah, blah. Like it naturally follows. The habit is at night before I go to bed, throw it into the washer, delay start it in the morning. Then I have to obviously continue. This one has a couple of more steps, but if you can get that first habit down, the rest will start to flow naturally. Because, like I said, once I come down in the morning, that first step is already done. So, my step in the morning then is just taking it from the washer to the dryer, which is the one that we always forget, right? How many times have we joked about rewashing this load for the fourth time or don't know how long this has been? When you stick to this type of laundry habit, you're not going to have to rewash those loads. I mean, you might if you forget to turn it over. Okay. It's not perfect, but when you can stick to it, it really is. It really is a game changer. So, what is my third habit to keep my home running smoothly and my sanity in check? And that is loading and running the dishwasher every night. This one I don't usually get as much pushback on. This one a lot of people do. The laundry one, I get a lot of pushback. I get a lot of questions and a lot of pushback. In fact, I think I'm going to do a full deep dive episode on the laundry and some of the pushback and the questions and like the why this won't work for me excuses that I hear. And how to actually make it work for your family and little tweaks that you can make. Okay, getting into running the dishwasher every night. What's the habit? The habit is loading the dishwasher and run it before heading to bed. The effect In the morning, once again, I get to wake up to clean dishes. Can we pause here and just say how amazing it is to literally start your day with clean dishes and a clean load of laundry? Like, you are doing future you the biggest favor. Like, how can you not wake up in a good mood knowing that cute past you helped future you? And your day is just off to this amazing, fantastic start. And those two things that evening time you has to do take less than 10 minutes. Okay? Set yourself up. Like, future you is going to love you. Okay. So instead of waking up to a messy kitchen, I get to wake up to clean dishes in an empty sink ready. And usually, this habit also leads to a quick kitchen reset. Sometimes I won't lie, I am done at the end of the night, and the only thing I want to do is sit on my couch and veg out and play a stupid game on my phone and watch The Office. But on those nights, it's just the dishes. Just get them in, turn it on. I'm not even gonna do anything else. Other times, I feel a little bit motivated. I get those dishes in the dishwasher, turn it on, notice that my counters need a quick little, wipe those down, tuck the chairs in, clean up the floor, and feels like my kitchen has had a quick little reset. Why this works. The kitchen stays manageable instead of becoming a disaster zone. I hate nothing more than when nighttime version of me says, screw it, we'll do it tomorrow. And then I come downstairs and I'm starting my day off with a mess, with chaos, with having to maybe scramble because I don't have the right utensil or the right pan or something, right? It works so well for just starting off your day and sets the entire day up for success. So these are three tiny, tiny habits that I know are so effective. But let's talk about why they're so effective. Number one, they're tiny. It's in the name. They take literally less than 5 minutes. You do not need a ton of time or really a ton of effort to create big, big impact in your life. Number two, they create a ripple effect. That one small action usually leads to more positive and helpful actions. Making your bed usually leads to a quick tidy up, doing right? All of these things have that ripple effect. Number three, they eliminate decision fatigue. When we don't have to think about whether or not I'm going to do the laundry today, do I have time to? Do I have time to clean my room? Who's going to tackle like all of these things? When we have a habit in place and a system in place and just follow it, you get to eliminate so much decision fatigue and so much of that mental load that we are carrying as moms. So that alone, hi, let's have some tiny habits, okay? And the fourth thing is they create more peace and more flow in my home. I know for a fact that when I am consistent with these habits, my home runs more smoothly because I am human and I have ebbs and flows where there are days, weeks, months, years where these habits, I do not miss a beat, and I am on them. And then I have times where, because I am human, I fall off the wagon a little bit, or I make excuses, or, I have those evenings where I'm like, I just don't want to, even though I know it's going to be 5 minutes, I don't want to. And I have seen the difference in how life flows when I don't do them. When I slack on these tiny habits, man, do I feel it. And you know what? I will say I'm actually a little bit glad that I have slacked before because it gave me proof that I know, like, hey, I know these work because I've seen the proof of when I do them and how awesome it feels and how much I feel like superwoman. I feel like supermom because I'm on top of things. And when I don't do them, it's just like I'm 3 steps behind. I'm always playing catch up. I feel that overwhelm. And wow, to just realize that 15 minutes could eliminate that for me. Why wouldn't I implement tiny habits? These three tiny habits. And the big thing I want to say is that's the beauty of these is that they work with you, not against you. Even if you're like me, even if you're habit resistant or routine resistant and you think that they're so restrictive, they're really, really, really not. So I want you to think about your own life and your own home. These were areas where I personally felt stuck, right? A bunch of years ago, if you know my story, I felt so overwhelmed. I felt completely just anxiety ridden. My stomach was hurting all the time. I was in panic mode frequently. And the thing I decided to do was make my bed, right? You can go back and into my story if you haven't been here. And that's where I started. So I'm not saying that these are the three absolute systems and habits that you need. They are awesome. They're universal because all of us have a bed, all of us have laundry, all of us have to eat. We all make messes in our kitchen, right? So that's why I have these ones as the example in this episode. But think about your life. Think about where you feel stuck, where you feel overwhelmed, like things just aren't flowing the way that you want them to. And we can start to think about what tiny habit could I implement here to help me? Here's some good news for you. You do not have to figure this out alone. I love nothing more than helping you lean into your bold, intentional life and helping you step into that happy, bright, full, joyful version of yourself. And one way that I do that beyond this podcast, beyond my weekly intention setting calls or my one-on-one coaching, is I also offer some system strategy calls where we do quick 30 minutes one-on-one to kind of pinpoint exactly where you are feeling overwhelmed, where you are feeling stuck, and we map out a habit or a system to help you get unstuck. These are quick, fun strategy calls. So if you are listening to this and thinking, I need this in my life, but I have no idea where to start, I need someone to kind of workshop this through, let's do it. Let's workshop through. You can head to the link in the description down below or jessielarson.com/systems and go ahead and book a call with me. And we can go ahead and create a plan that works for you. These tiny habits make such a big difference. So whether you are ready to start with just one, I recommend making your bed, or you want to go ahead and jump into all three of these because they are so tiny, you can do all three of these for sure. I promise you that you will start to see an impact in your home, in the way that it runs, and in your mood and in your feeling. I also know that there is a way for these tiny habits to be implemented that you don't have to do them all yourself. You can have the habit and have your family step in and help you here too. We can talk about this personally in a system strategy call as well. If you're like, listen, why do I have to be the one that does all of these? You don't. Your family can help you out with this too. And that's something that I love implementing and tweaking and making these habits and these systems work for you, your home, your core values, your goals. I love it. I love it so much. And if you loved this episode, I would be very, very grateful if you would share it with a friend who you know could use a little bit more ease and flow in their life as well. Send this to your best friend, send this to your mom, send this to your sister, send it to your neighbor, someone in your book club, someone you carpool with. I don't know. Send it to a mom who needs this because we could all use some tiny habits, some awesome routines to help us flow more easily in our life. So send that. And then if you haven't already, make sure to please subscribe, leave a review if you haven't, because it does help more people find the show and help more women like you start living with bold intention. I loved chatting with you today. I will see you next time. Until then, keep living bold and intentional.